Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Tonight, here on the channel, my main focus is going to be wrestling. And as always, on the live videos, if you tune in live, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Please keep it clean. I would greatly appreciate that. Every once in a while when you do a live video, somebody will post something ridiculous just because they know you're live and it's going to be seen by everybody watching. So please keep it clean. Give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do so. But last night, NXT had Halloween Havoc, which of course we know used to be a WCW pay-per-view event. Then it became a WWE pay-per-view. Now it's a NXT premium live event. And if you, by some chance, didn't hear what Cody Rhodes said that he thinks NXT is now big enough to where it should no longer be considered a developmental program, which I've been saying that for probably a year now. He said, they've done so much and they've got so much great talent. It is no longer a developmental brand, a developmental show. And if you are on NXT, don't think, hey, I must not be ready yet. Or if you're on Raw or SmackDown and get sent down, don't think, man, NXT sucks. It should not be considered a developmental brand anymore. I guess it always will be because of the fact you still have Raw and SmackDown. But to me, being on NXT used to be the guys that were rookies that you thought, man, they've got a long way to go before they're on Raw or SmackDown. Now you can watch NXT guys and they're just as good as the Raw and SmackDown guys. But Tony D'Angelo beat Oba Femi in a tables, ladders, and scares match to retain the NXT North American Championship. Julia and Stephanie McCool beat Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Ridge Holland defeated Andre Chase in an ambulance match. Fallon Henley of Fatal Influence beat Kalani Jordan to become the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Hey, I guess that's Revan. Glad to have you here. Hey, Tahir. Glad you're here as well. If y'all have not yet subscribed, please do so. Hey, Mythical. Glad to have you here as well. But it was a gauntlet match for Kalani Jordan. She defeated the first two members of Fatal Influence, and then Fallon Henley beats her to become the Women's North American Champion. And on the main event, Trick Williams beat Ethan Page in a Devil's Playground match to retain the NXT Championship. Thank you, Mythical. I greatly appreciate that. And speaking of a WWE, this Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to have Crown Jewel, which of course will take place over in Saudi Arabia. Hey, Tahir, you're from Istanbul. Well, glad to have you tuned into the channel all the way from Istanbul. Tell all your friends and family about the channel as well, and hopefully y'all are wrestling fans, but if not, also talk football, baseball, basketball, NASCAR, just about any kind of major sport, even some of the non-major sports. I have discussed boxing, I've talked tennis before, but on the Crown Jewel card this Saturday, and you're asking me team, and I'm not sure what sport you're asking, since I just mentioned about 10 sports. So if you specify what sport, I'll tell you what team I pull for. Send a thank you to Brazil. I love you foreigners. Well, Aiden, thank you so much for that comment. We have Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the men's Crown Jewel title. That's why we have the Raw champion versus the SmackDown champion. And then we have the women's Crown Jewel match, which of course is the Raw champion versus SmackDown champion Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. Seth freaking Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. We have a fatal four-way tag team match for the women's tag team titles. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Damage Control. Hey, Eric, glad to have you here, man. Yes, Crown Jewel is going to be a good show, and I just got done doing my weekly podcast that I do with my man Jay every Monday night, and we always talk wrestling and racing, and we were talking about Crown Jewel, and I told him that I hate it when it's on a Saturday during football season because you want to watch both, and it's very easy to either watch Crown Jewel and then record whatever game you want to watch, or do the opposite and watch the game you want to watch and then go back on Peacock later and watch Crown Jewel. But then it's hard not to get on your phone and read the results. And by the time you do that, you're like, well, no point in watching now because I know what happens. But it will be a good show. Every time they have a Crown Jewel, it's always a good show. LA Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. Roman Reigns and the Usos versus the Bloodline. And I have a feeling that Tennessee is going to destroy Kentucky Saturday night. Eric, maybe I'm wrong, but Kentucky's offense has sucked all year long. It has not gotten better at all. It's terrible. Kentucky's played one good game all year long. They lost the game to Georgia, but they actually looked decent on both sides of the ball. Ever since then, their offense has been putrid. I think this is Mark Stoops last year in Lexington, but maybe I'm wrong. And I know usually Kentucky, Tennessee is a close game. I just don't see it. To me, Tennessee's defense is so good. Kentucky might score 10. And even if Tennessee gets off to a slow start, they should still score 24 plus. So I just don't think it'll be a close game. But let me go ahead and run down my predictions real quick. That was the match card. Here are my predictions. I think Cody Rhodes wins. Give me Liv Morgan. Give me Seth Rollins. Give me Kevin Owens. Give me Damage Control. Give me Andrade. And then give me Roman Reigns and the Usos. That's my prediction for these 7 matches coming up Saturday afternoon for WWE's Crown Jewel Premium Live Event in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Any thoughts, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. My perfume store got robbed. They took every cent I had. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.